Welcome back to Turf Talk, Potpourri Edition. Vance, it's been a couple weeks. A lot has happened. Said goodbye to two Preakness winners and Gun Runner back on the scene with I thought, a scintillating Razorback performance, some Derby doings as well. But I definitely wanted to touch on Charismatic especially. Doesn't rank high on my quality of Horse of the Year winners, but certainly one of the most amazing stories of my generation.
Yeah, you simply don't see Derby winners coming out of claiming races earlier in their 3-year-old season, and he did just that. He peaked at the right time, winning the Lexington 2 weeks before the Derby, and then winning the Derby at odds of 30-1, and then coming back 2 weeks later, winning the Preakness at odds of 8-1, a race that I still am boggled by, and I did not take advantage of that opportunity, getting 8-1 and a pretty decent Derby winner what I thought at that time.
Yeah, and to me, it's one thing, okay, fluke in the Derby, but he had won his previous stakes, and the previous two Derby winners had gone on to win the Preakness. So, to me, I kind of think to myself, well, we wouldn't see a Derby winner go off at 8-1 now. Mind That Bird, I think, was 7-2, something like that.
Second choice for sure.
Yeah, behind Rachel Alexandra. It may have been favored if she hadn't been in there. But really, back then, it was the same deal. I mean, 2 years in a row, they had the Derby winner. Charismatic made it 3. And the other thing to touch on, you mentioned the claiming horse. You might think, oh, some connections would take a shot if they saw something in a claiming race. These weren't just some connections. Dwayne Lucas and Bob and Beverly Lewis. So, to me, an amazing story. And the thing I always go back to is a colleague of mine likes telling this as well. They show the Derby, and Lucas is, come on, Cat Thief, come on, Cat Thief. And then all of a sudden he realizes he's not going to win. And you could just see his focus shift. And it's, come on, Charismatic, come on, Charismatic. Probably was tough to watch that race in Mr. Young's box.
Yes, it probably was, but Mr. Young did have a nice prize at the end of that season, winning the Breeders' Cup Classic in an upset. So I think it worked out for everybody involved.
Absolutely.
And then Charismatic, of course, was named Horse of the Year. Unfortunately, injured himself in the deep stretch of the Belmont Stakes, didn't win the Triple Crown. He wasn't going to win the Belmont anyway. I think his loss was kind of pretty much in the books right even before he got injured, but we'll certainly miss him. He was part of the Old Friends not far from my home in Georgetown, Kentucky, and they've provided a really good home for former Derby winners. He was one of them.
Yeah, and that Belmont won by Lemon Drop Kid, who went on to win a few other races and become a decent sire.
Champion the next year as
well.
Yeah,
absolutely. So a productive race. And speaking of productive race horses anyway, Gun Runner seemed to arrive on the scene, a known commodity, but people wondering who might be able to challenge Arrogate. No one quite thinks Gun Runner is to that level, but certainly one to watch the rest of the year.
Yeah, he certainly looked the part in the Razorback at Oaklawn, just winning in scintillating fashion, as you said. It's probably going to be used as a prep for the Dubai World Cup, and we're not quite sure if connections of Arrogate are going to change their mind whether to ship all the way across the world for that big race or not. But Gun Runner seemingly will probably try and go for it, and whatever Arrogate doesn't run in this year, I'm sure Gun Runner will be around to pick up some nice checks along the way. Like you said, I don't quite see him, staring Arrogate down at 1.25 miles or even 1.125 miles even, but he's going to be a pretty good older horse.
Yeah, I mentioned on Twitter I'd need a lot of weight and the right price to maybe take a shot against Arrogate, but Dubai, that's a huge vote of confidence because we know he can run at Oaklawn. There's a pretty decent race to close out their season for older horses worth a lot of money. So to go to Dubai, and they make it worth your while, but still that would be an interesting decision. We'll see what they do. Could have called this the old news edition. All that was 2 weeks or last week. Any Derby thoughts?
No, it's just still kind of sticking by McCraken. He's training very well for the upcoming Tampa Bay Derby. I'm looking forward to another good performance from him, and I'm very happy that jockey Brian Hernandez has some backup after winning the race, the Risen Star at the Fairgrounds on Saturday with Girvin, who I was kind of like the proverbial broken clock on Saturday. I cashed a couple of tickets at Fairgrounds. One of them was on Girvin, so I'm very happy about that. And I was happy for Brian Hernandez. So he's got 2 solid Derby contenders.
Yep, you were the only handicapper among us in the office to pick him, so well done. And we'll see what you do for an encore. Got the Gotham and Fountain Youth this weekend. Talk about it next week.
Can't wait.
All right, until then.